Welcome everyone to the fourth Leadership Summit of IIM Raipur, based on the theme New Age, New Realities. I am Ayush Agarwal from Media and Public Relations Committee of IIM Raipur. Today, we are pleased to host Ms. Bhuvana Subramanian, Chief Marketing Officer, Randstad India. A very warm welcome, ma'am.
Thank you, Ayush. My pleasure to join you guys today.
Ma'am, my first question to you is, since we are moving towards a hybrid way of working which provides flexibility to the employees, do you see it as being acceptable once we return to the old times?
Very valid question, Ayush. I know it's very hard to imagine going back to a normal work environment, so to speak, because all of us are used to being in the office every day, fighting traffic, fighting, all the issues that we go through. But right now, we are also used to working from home for the last 8 months or so, right? And but the way the I see, going forward, I don't see every employee going up to the same office on the same day. This entire hybrid model is what is going to be in place, and that's what we're hearing from many, many organizations also. And even if people go to the office, it could be in, certain teams be in office on one day and the other teams come on the other day. And that's exactly how we envisage it happening, and not in the near future. It's going to take a lot of time to get there also. But what is important is, for people to accept this whole reality, the new way of being in the organization, being going to office. And the organization in turn has to kind of also look at, support for policies. The entire, reimagining the work and workplace has to happen quickly. It has to allow for flexible work arrangements. There is no other way to keep your employees engaged, because when you really see, when we talk to our employees in Randstad or otherwise, right, the top of mind concern is safety, right? Because nobody can guarantee from point A to point B what can happen, who are you in touch with, what is your mode of transport. Like we all see that, public transport is up and running in many, many cities. And this is, the pandemic is real now. It is kind of, I know a lot of people who have got it in my, friend circle, and people otherwise in the employee circle as well. So it's very real. It's not anymore a statistic or news, right? So it's time, and that people get real about it and ensure that employee flexibility is on top of their mind when it comes to revising their policies. In fact, we launched Safely Back to Work, Helping India Safely Back to Work handbook. I can share the link with you guys later, which clearly calls about, the work from home model has been the strongest force to reckon throughout the COVID-19 challenge. And of course, it depends on which industry you're working for and which organization. I hear from, especially manufacturing has gotten back to more than 50%. Other organizations are trying a 50-50 model where, some people come to office, and especially for women and people who have older parents at home, right? So the organizations have also changed their policy around those. They're giving them the flexibility to work from home. They see what has turned around in this entire pandemic is that, it has moved from organizations rolling out policies to employees having a say in the policy. They reach out to employees to understand what is their priority and what is their preference, and then they've started putting the policy together. So that's a huge difference. And employees are obviously calling in for flexibility. And a lot of people have also gone back to their hometowns, and they've gone back to their comfortable locations, right, where they want to be with family. So that obviously calls for lot more flexibility.
Sure, ma'am. Ma'am, since you mentioned about COVID's impact on different industries, one of your LinkedIn posts mentions about the opportunities in the healthcare industry. Do you believe that the transformational changes due to the COVID-19 will bring growth opportunities for the industry as well?
Yeah, absolutely. Like I have a doctor at home. My husband is a doctor, so clearly I have a closer context to the healthcare industry as well. And we as a staffing company, we also put a lot of employees to work in across industries, right? So we keep talking to the healthcare industry to understand what their concerns are, and we partner with them where it's required. But as an opportunity, yes, if you see, the healthcare industry has been the only one who has worked 365 days, 24/7 to ensure that the entire country is safe, and they've been at it day and night. Like, there's so many stories that come out of doctors and healthcare. Uh, Look at the way the entire PPE sets have been manufactured all of a sudden. China is closed for manufacturing, as we all know. So India took it up and kind of looked at it as an opportunity to spur innovation and growth in the medical devices sector. Also, all these tests that you get, the oxygen meters, and something that we've never even heard of or would imagine bringing home as a device to keep at home, right? So that's gone up. About, I think India was among the top 20 medical devices in Asia, like after Japan, China, but that is changed now in the pandemic scenario. And I think the reliance on imports was up to about 86%. So that's clearly turned around. Today, if you see, India is the largest supplier of generic drugs in the world, right? That has also changed. And India was never into manufacturing medical textiles, as I was mentioning, including the PPE kits. It was completely owned by China. Okay, so the advantage is that within 2 months you'll be surprised to know of the coronavirus outbreak. Now India has become the second largest producer of PPE kits, so that's an opportunity, right, for in the manufacturing side. I think I read somewhere in the Invest India report that India is now a 1 billion market of the estimated 52 billion PPE, market itself. And I think government also kind of, many governments, right, have also looked at the policies and promotion of domestic manufacturing of medical devices in the country. And all of us have been reading in the news that how the US reached out to India for medicines. So we had to go and manufacture those medicines, critical medicines, very quickly and export them as well. In the financing promotion of medical device, parks for financing common infrastructure to about almost, I think, 400 crores. I'm just giving you some numbers I've recently gone through, right? And there is an incentive scheme also that the government has, put out there. I think about 3,000 crores or for a period of 5 years, and all these schemes are expected to generate an additional employment of about 30,000 jobs, if I'm right, over a period of 5 years. So those are your opportunities. And but the other side, from a if you look at if I have to wear my marketing hat for 1 minute, the entire digitization of healthcare analytics, insurance, digital marketing and sales, right? I mean, my husband is kind of done uh, his consultation over video calls, the ones that he could do on video calls. Of course, it's a very touch, and you can't give a diagnosis unless you really see the patient. But doctors have also adapted to digital methods of taking care of the patients. But clearly there is an increase in many aligned sectors and the healthcare industry itself in terms of job opportunities, in terms of the digital transformation that is happening, and clearly in the manufacturing part also.
Lastly, ma'am, students here at IIM Raipur would love to know about your experience during your MBA days and how was it different from your experience in the corporate world?
Good question. Yeah, clearly, I mean, my MBA days seem very long ago to begin with, right? But if I have to really go back to those days, uh, it was, I did my MBA after like about 2 years of experience. Like, I started working and then I did my MBA. It was clearly a journey of self discovery, I should say. Okay, because I was a science student. In school, I was doing my science, and then in college also I did my BSc botany, and from there to move to MBA in marketing was a completely different alignment. But I was very clear that I, in my 11th grade, that I would take up MBA in marketing. So I didn't know where, how, what. I had not planned any of that. So when I took up my MBA in marketing, then it was a journey, which was an inward journey for me to kind of look at what should I, what should I specialize in. There was not much guidance available as much as you guys have today, right? I mean, there was no internet, there was no, networking, or places where you could go and ask questions and you would get answers. The crowdsourcing of answers to understand what you should be doing, that did not exist. It just depended, we depended on the seniors in our school and college, and teachers and our elders at home, and that's how it was. For me, the second understanding when I was doing my MBA was that I went from a very small town. It was called Avdi, and it's a small town 20 kilometers from the main Chennai city itself, right? So that's where I was brought up. Uh, Second understanding, as I was saying, is like there are so many kids who are much smarter than you. That was a discovery for me in my MBA days. And the third one, in the final year of my MBA, is like when you start writing. There was no, you guys have internship and stuff like that. We did not have those in those days. It was more of writing case studies, and so that meant going and meeting people who were actually working and understanding the subject, and understanding how different companies managed different areas of their business itself. So that was a big learning for me during. But if you really look at it even now, right, if you see the similarities, MBA gives you some framework, right, and it gives you insights into business building, or business management, so to speak, but it can't teach you everything. You have to take this framework and make it your own, and then start applying your whatever you've learned into when you start working, and then make it your own journey as you move forward from one organization to another, or you stay in one organization. As you grow into your career, you need to make your own framework also. But one critical thing I will tell you, students, is that listen and learn. um, uh, the best learning can happen when you listen. That especially in the initial years when you're so new, and have that as your mental framework, and the attitude is a lot more important than aptitude. So that's something I learned when I started working. And of course, learned a lot of different ways to communicate when I started working, understanding nuances about people, understanding nuances about the business side of itself. And I used to, as a student in school, I used to hate math. Okay. But when I started working, of course, in MBA, you're like subjected to only economics or very little math, right? It's not too much of math. It's a particular subject, and you're focused on that math alone. But when I started, working, I used to take the balance sheet of companies to go through and understand the business side of it, and that's how I learned through my experience, Ayush. Of course, then I was given huge budgets to run advertising. So that again, I've learned a lot of things by fire, I should say, when I started working. And yeah, the only thing that you learn from MBA and you kind of are able to apply is, the frameworks that are given there, the theoretical way to manage the case studies that you go through are something that you can learn from and apply in other industries. And yeah, the right attitude, respect the elders in the organization. People have been there before you, completely respect them. And then always look at innovative ways of doing business or managing business. That's what people like when you get into the organizations. And be ready to stretch in the initial years, be ready to stretch and go beyond the call of duty. I think those are the mantras of success.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for taking on your valuable time from your busy schedule. I am
Yeah, thank
Raipur.
you, Ayush.
I am Raipur. Was pleased to host you, and we'd love to have you on campus when things return to normal. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. It'll be my pleasure to meet you all in person as well. And all the very best to you guys too. Take care.